Hey guys, so recently I was asked to review the Voopeak TC21 Ultra Covert hunting camera. Um, I'm not getting paid anything for this. They just simply sent this to me. Review it. We want your honest opinion. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have not taken it out of the box, tested anything, so we're going to do that together. So let's get started. Alright, so it's the TC21 Ultra Covert Hunting Camera. And before we take this out of the box, leave me a comment what you guys think it looks like. To me, it's either an owl or the little guy from Pac-Man. Anyway, let's get to it. So we've got the install and warranty cards. It's one thing that stands out to me. This camera is a little bit different than most trail cameras that I've seen in the past. Look how thin. And that's probably not much over an inch and a half thick. So very thin. That's pretty cool. Manual or instruction manual. Solar panel. Screws. So our mounting strap. Guessing the charging cord. Hey, one thing I do like is it is USB-C. So that's a plus. And then so it's a mounting bracket and a mounting base. And it looks like if you want to screw it to a tree or whatever you're using for. A lot of people use these as security cameras, so you could use this little bracket to secure it to the eave of a barn or whatever you're trying to keep an eye on. This little bracket obviously just goes through. You put the bolts on. So set that to the side. Alright, so one thing that I like about this camera is these are separate. So, some cameras have them mounted to the top of them, and if you're placing that camera on a, depending on where you're putting it on a tree, it may not be in the sunlight. So with this, looks like it comes with probably, 3 feet of cable on it, so you can mount this off a little ways to, around on the back side of the tree, just wherever you're going to get the best sunlight. So that's a big plus in my opinion. So to get into it, just okay. So it's a little odd that this is 2 pieces, but I mean it's pretty cool though. So, now this is your camera. Has the spot for the mount back here, so this just screws in the back of it. You can mount it how you want to. Of course, the strap, if you use the strap on a tree, it goes through these loops and around the tree. So pretty basic. It does have your reset pin here, so if there's ever an issue with the camera and you have to do a factory reset, so you would take this small piece and stick it in right there to reset it. All right, so it does look like it's a micro SD card. So we'll get one of those. I don't think it came with one. Yeah, you'll have to make sure you've got a micro SD card or purchase one. Anyway, so on the bottom, you've got your USB-C, your on-off switch, and it does have setup mode, micro SD, and then this is where your solar panel will be plugging into. All right, guys, so I went ahead and put a SD card in it. Let's power it on to setup and start the setup process. Okay, so at the top left, you're going to notice the menu option or the menu button. So we'll hit that. Mode, photo plus video. That's you can do, you know, just video, just photo, or photo and video, which is what I want to do for testing purposes. Real life scenario, that's going to be user specific. So PIR interval, 30 seconds. What that means is every 30 seconds, the infrared will detect motion and trigger a photo or video. If you start having issues with battery running low, or just getting so much footage, you can back that off so that it'll only do it, you know, every minute or 10 minutes or whatever you prefer it being. PIR sensitivity, that's how sensitive the motion detection is for the unit. So you may have to adjust that depending on your use. Time lapse, you can do time lapse videos. And then loop recording, what that is if your SD card gets full, you can turn on loop recording, and what it'll do is push out the oldest video or picture that has been taken and let the new one come in. So you may hear it referred to as first in, first out. So I would recommend having that turned on. So let's go to the next option, which is going to be, oops, let me go back and make sure there's no more here. Okay, missed some. So IR LED, I'm going to leave that on auto. So you can do medium, low, or off. So that's going to be how long or how bright your infrared is. So I'm just going to leave it on auto so it can detect, depending on the light, you know, where the camera's located at. It may not have to turn them on quite as bright. So we'll leave it on auto. Low battery night shot, so that can shut off the infrared lights at night. I'm just going to leave it as no shutting. Monitoring period, you can turn that on or off. Not 100% sure what that is. And then frequency, we'll just leave it at 60 hertz. So now to the next setup, it's going to be the picture or the camera setup. So image size 46 megapixels, so we'll just leave it at that. Picture number, what that is how many, you know, when it detects motion, how many pictures do you want it to take? I'll let it do let's go ahead and do a 3-round burst. It's okay. And then shutter speed, that's how quick on motion, how quick it detects or takes a picture. We'll leave it on 130, that way it's the fastest in case you know, a deer or something comes running through, it can snap it a little quicker. Okay, so that's all those settings. Let's go to the video camera. So resolution, 4K, 4K 30 frames is the highest. I'm going to leave it on that for testing purposes. Again, you know, depending on the size of your SD card, how much activity, you may want to drop that resolution down, just so you, you know, so you can have more storage. So so we'll leave it there. Video length 20 seconds. I'm going to leave it at that. That's plenty, but you can run it on up longer. And then auto lengthen video on. I think what that does is, if the camera continues to detect motion, it will continue to record as long as there is motion. If motion stops, then the longest or the shortest video it will take will be 20 seconds. So all right. And now let's go to the final one, which is settings. So we'll leave that on English. Default settings. So if you needed to default this camera and just start from factory default, you can do that. Format, that's so you can format the SD card. Just hit OK. Make sure you do have an SD card in, and then hit OK. It's a really quick process, and it's done. Date and time, so you can go through and set your date and time. And time format, you can 12 or 24 hours. I'm just going to leave it on 24 hours. Date stamp on, meaning on the image, do you want the date to show up, to stamp that on that image. Beep sound, so if you turn that on, you hear a beep every time you do a button press. So to keep from annoying you guys, I've turned that off. Camera name, you can name this camera, whatever you depending on location. If you've got a particular deer stand that you're putting this at, or property, whatever you choose. Password settings, I'm just going to leave that off, and password for app, I'm going to leave that off. And what this does, it does have Wi-Fi, so when you come up in the woods, you don't have to pull the SD card. You can connect with your phone to the Wi-Fi, and we'll go through the setup of that in a few minutes. Then power off 3 minutes. That's just after there's no activity. Backlight 1 minute. I'm just going to leave these all at default settings. All right, guys. So here's the app. We've got it opened up, and when I click on my camera, you'll see it start trying to connect to it. So it wants to join this Wi-Fi network. Say join, and you'll notice the screen coming up. Wi-Fi connected. So, all right. So in the app, you're connected directly to the phone live. So there we are. If you hit the settings button, I know it's probably hard to see on here, but it goes through the same settings that we went through each section of in the camera. It's just all in one big section. Me personally, I would rather go through this way and set it up than clicking a bunch of buttons. We're all used to using a smartphone, so to me it's a little easier to go through the settings on it. And within the app, I haven't played around with it much. It tells you the percentage of charge on the camera, so it's 45%. So you can manually trigger to take a picture, or if you have it on recording, to start a recording. And then down here in the bottom, you can go back and let's see. So you have to allow it full access to your camera, and then you can see them here. So I'd imagine, walking up in the woods, connect your phone to this. You don't have to pull an SD card. You can just download all the images you want here, delete the ones that are no good, and leave the camera. You don't have to go in and out or carry an extra SD card with you. So, all right, guys. So let's take this out, strap it to a tree, and see how it performs in the real world. Alright guys, so that's the TC21 by Cam Park. You've seen the video footage, the pictures that it produces. All in all, seems to be a pretty solid little camera. I really thought the night vision was good. You know, I've seen some cameras where it seems like, you know, they may give you a certain IR distance that it'll reach out there, and it almost just like it turns black. This one, it seemed to fade out. You know, the woods kind of faded away real naturally looking. So the distance on the infrared was good. Sound quality, I thought the sound quality was great. When a deer, or, you know, animal would pass through, you could hear, you know, it was real natural sounding. You didn't have a lot of echoes or static. It was really good. Camo pattern on this blends great on the trees. Like the way it's thin, so it you know, doesn't stick out real far from the camera. The only thing I would change, well, a couple of things. So you guys saw how I mounted the camera and then the solar panel separately. I mean, I guess I could have mounted this on one side of the tree and used a strap around, but I chose to use screws because in my case I needed the solar panel up a little bit higher just to clear some limbs on another tree so it wouldn't block the sun. So it'd be nice to see them maybe throw another strap in for this. But like I said, if that's not not the case for you, you can mount it. You know, you can flatten this out, mount it right above it with the same strap, or on the back side of the tree. So not a big deal. I do think the app needs some work. It was a little flaky trying to get that set up. So I wasn't a big fan of that. I will clarify for you guys. So this is, you know, it does have Wi-Fi. It produces a Wi-Fi signal for you to connect your phone to talk directly to this. Now you couldn't have this out in your yard and connect your home Wi-Fi to it. It's just simply Wi-Fi connection. So you're talking, you know, your phone or whatever you're using talks directly to this camera. To pull the photos, you wouldn't want to download a lot like that because it does take a few minutes to load that over Wi-Fi if, you know, your video footage. Pictures are a little quicker, but videos, it's going to be real slow trying to download those. So if you've got a lot of video footage, your quickest bet is going to be just to swap the SD card, you know, take a spare SD card in with you and swap that out. But other than that, it's $129 camera. You know, it's not the cheapest one out there, but it's not the most expensive. But for a budget camera, this is a pretty, you know, it's pretty solid. I plan to, you know, I'll use it quite a bit here. And oh, and one thing, when I first put the camera out, I think we were sitting at like 40% charge on the battery. You know, I didn't do a pre-charge or anything. I wanted to see how well the power or the solar panel worked. So I took it out, put it up. It was like 35-40% battery. When I took it down after a week, it was we were sitting at 50% charge on the battery. So, and that's a week that we've had two solid days of rain. You know, a lot of overcast, so not good conditions for a solar panel. So, you know, I think they've got a good product there. I think they've got the solar figured out to keep this thing charged. Because I was taking a lot of videos, a lot of pictures as well. So, you know, depending on how you have yours set up, you know, you could have it take, you know, less pictures on a burst, or shorter videos, or less often, and that's going to conserve battery. But, you know, I was hammering it pretty hard just for testing purposes, and, you know, it did well, so I can't complain there. But hey guys, if you don't go get this camera, go pick another camera up somewhere and throw it out, see what's around. You may be surprised what's passing through behind your house, whether you're in the city or in the backwoods like us. Guys, I appreciate you watching today. Hope you enjoyed the review, and we'll catch you on the next one. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So if you know us, we're always going to be screwing up. Come on. Hey guys, welcome to the backwoods. So if you're, a dummy like me who can't talk,